I will preface this by consider the source here. I'm going to do a little reading now from a website called Inside the Eagles. Headline: It sounds like an Eagles rival is walking into a training camp nightmare.
What was that?
6 months ago, the Philadelphia Eagles rivalry with the Washington Commanders seemed to be the most important battle in football. The two teams faced off in the NFC Championship game, with the Eagles' juggernaut squad besting Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. The arrow seemed to be pointed straight up for Washington. Now, one contract dispute could destroy their momentum before training camp even starts. Terry McLaurin news is perfect for Eagle fans. Contract negotiations in the NFL are more public now than they ever have been. Now Terry McLaurin has joined the list. McLaurin is entering the final year of his current deal. I'm skipping ahead here. Now that McLaurin is talking about sitting out, things could get ugly for the Commanders. Entering training camp, they should be one of the more exciting teams in the NFL coming off their playoff run. Instead, all of the attention will be on a contract dispute that could have been resolved months ago. I'm not going to continue to read this because it's extremely slanted.
Who wrote it? Somebody from Philly?
Yeah, Michael Haney for Inside the Eagles.
Yeah. I almost said something, boy. Today I'm glad I can back up stuff. I can just backpedal now instead of saying.
Let me ask you though, B, and I'll ask the boys in the aquarium this too.
Yeah.
How much of an impact will this contract dispute have if it leaks into next week and beyond?
I don't know. I don't know how much of an impact it'll have. I think we have momentum going, and I think for the offense, it would be best to have him here than not have him. But I believe that you have guys around now who understands like we can't handle that stuff. So we got to all get ready to play and go out and do what we can do. You know what I'm saying? I think if in previous years it would completely destroy some teams because, everybody worry about everything. They claim they don't talk about nothing, they don't worry about nothing, but they will always worry about everything. But I think the brain trust of this team now, and I'm not talking about the front office, I'm talking about the coaching and these players. They will have to go, they'll go out there and handle their business. And look, it may not look as good without him than it does with him, but I think they can do well enough to keep things afloat till he rolls in.
Yeah, I think if we get – the other thing that I think we should consider here, Terry hasn't said whether he would or would not come to training camp, right?
Uh-huh.
I think we should prepare. I don't know that this will happen, but I think a hold-in becomes increasingly possible.
Like showing up
now,
and going through everything.
Showing up
and not working out.
Showing up and not practicing. You're at the meetings. You're hanging with your teammates. Now, a hold-in can be very distracting.
Yeah.
But it also could just be Terry's, like, I've seen this before where guys are there, but they don't practice. They kind of just stand with the position group, go through, they might even stretch.
Yeah.
I've seen that before, and I think it all depends how you handle it. If you remember, I think it was last year, Matthew Judon wanted a new deal with the Patriots, and he was sitting on the sideline banging on trash cans. Like, he was trying to make a distraction. Pat sent him home. I think he got traded to the Falcons within the next day or two.
Yeah.
I don't see this going that way.
I'm with you.
But I do think a hold-in is possible. And I think people will ask, well, he held out of minicamp. Why would he hold in here? Why would he show up for camp instead of just holding out like he did for minicamp? One, minicamp is a finite number of days. It's 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
It's also in June, so you're sending a message.
Happening.
Right, you're sending a message to try to get something done before camp, right?
Yep.
Camp's a different beast.
Camp
is when football actually starts, and I think it's important to point out the new CBA, the fines that players accrue, these guys are making tens of millions of dollars, but the fines aren't nothing.
Hurts. It still hurts.
And they've made it a lot harder contractually to wipe the fines once a player does report.
True.
So
but I think the thing of it is this, Jay. I know people like to make these comments. Oh, you got to be there with your team. Let's be real. Most guys understand what the mini camps and OTAs are about. It's catching up to people that are behind, trying to get them up to speed. Terry's up to speed. But then when training camp rolls around, it's not getting people up to speed. It's about getting the right people to get you ready to win football games. So as much as a lot of these fans who lose their mind, a lot of radio hosts who lose their damn mind, somebody not at a mini camp, it's not very important. Okay? But training camp is vitally important. That's why guys do the hold ins instead of not being there. You know, and also you're getting fined big money.
Right.
Yeah. That'll make me show up.
I think I don't know what's going to happen. I think Zach Ertz said it well. I talked to Austin Eckler a couple of weeks ago. He said it well. He's like, man, one thing you learn in this league is you don't comment on other people's business. They got to take care of their business.
True.
But I
I
do
love
think
Austin, man. There we
yeah,
go.
Ertz said the same thing, right?
I love Ertz. Because, like, in radio, we comment on everybody, everything, and every fan comments on everything. Most fans comment on stuff and say what they would do and wouldn't do. They totally would not be. They don't do it right now in their own lives. You know, so the thing comes down to this dude has to be comfortable with whether he makes a positive decision or a negative decision. He has to be comfortable, him and his family.
Yeah. Does it seem a little – it seems like Eagles people are obsessed with the burgundy and gold.
If you are talking about everything happening with another team, they have creeped into your whole mindset. That's all that is. You know, if I walk up to you and I start talking about something that I claim I don't care about, I keep telling you about, man, this dude doing this, he doing this, then you would think something wrong with me, right?
Yeah.
But we already know something wrong with them.
They're a little obsessed.
Yeah.
But
you know what? As long as it's happening, like it. Because you know you're worrying them. You're bothering them.
The McLaurin situation will derail the Commander season? No, I do not.
Nope.
Do I think it will be an unfortunate, maybe to action or maybe just something that is kind of annoying that players have to deal with? Yeah. I know. So camp opens next week. DQ will probably have a press conference, and then DQ talks every day at training camp. Usually he does it first thing in the morning.
First question asked.
I know DQ is going to get real bored real quick at talking about this.
Uh-huh.
Don't you think so?
Well, I would say, listen, man, I coach the team. Y'all want to find out about this negotiation? Talk to Adam. That's the last thing I'll say. Because at this point, I just told you I'm not answering that question because I don't negotiate. I will talk to Adam. You have to talk to Adam because that's who I have to talk to find out stuff. And I can't tell you about Terry
that's what
Terry's not here.
That's what he's going to say. The only question I'd have for DQ that is relative to him is, have you talked to Terry? Have you reached out to Terry?
And if I tell you I talked to him one day, don't ask me this tomorrow. I'm just saying real, you know?
Yeah. I think that's fair. But I don't think you have to just, hey, have you talked to Terry? Have you reached out to him? That to me is fair. Because
I'm not telling you. Just saying.
Then that's an answer of its own, you know? That'll be my one question for DQ regarding Terry, understanding he's not the one doing the negotiation. And if you're Dan Quinn, you want Terry there, period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, coaches aren't in charge of playing out the salary cap 2 years from now. Coaches are in charge of winning games.
100.
So does DQ want Terry McLaurin back? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Landfill, you're a nuanced fella. How much of a distraction do you think this Terry thing will be for the rest of the team?
You know, I don't think that the contract negotiations are actually that much of a distraction to the other guys. I think they kind of just go out there and go about their business. Now, if he starts missing actual game time, not just training camp, then, potentially that could be an issue. But I think if it's just If it's just training camp, or if he shows up and gets, weighed in and works out, but then, has a mysterious toe injury and can't practice, I don't really think that's going to be much of a distraction for the other, 89 guys out there trying to make the team.
Well said. I mean, we probably know about 45 of the guys that are going to make the team. There's 90 guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
So that means the other 45 are fighting for their lives to make an NFL roster or do enough to be a practice squad guy. If those dudes are for one moment thinking about Terry and not focused on what they're doing, they've already lost. They're already cut.
There's a certain group of people that you ask them, hey, you been thinking about, you say, man, I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to stay here day by day. I'm not worried about nobody else. Then there are people who are there are people who are solidified in their position, and they think about that stuff. But they're more veteran guys too. But the young dudes, ain't no damn way they're worried about. They're worried about trying to make a team, or they better be worried about trying.
I remain cautiously optimistic on this thing. You'd like it to be done. Certainly when you get into August. If we get to BMitch's birthday in mid-August, that's Monday Night Football against the Bengals. That's the preseason game where –
how about you sign on August 18th? My birthday present. Y'all all be already –
I mean, he got married the same day you did.
All of y'all been to pull y'all hair out by then.
It's a good thing Jeff's bald, because if Terry's not signed by the middle of August – he'd be in big trouble.
Jeff would
start losing his back
I
hair.
would be like, look, Jeff, get out of my face. Stop talking to me. He would run me crazy. Every time I see his number on my phone, I wouldn't answer.